Hi everyone and welcome to this edition of What We Watched. In this one, we're going to cover Disclaimer, Dark Matter, and Severance. Severance is not finished yet, but we'll talk about where we're up to. So with that, we'll get straight into it. Disclaimer. Do you know what? My question for you on that, right?
Yeah.
From the very beginning, which I've wanted to ask for ages but haven't because I've waited for this video,
Right.
is would you recommend it? This is Disclaimer with Sacha Baron Cohen. Who else did it?
Kate Blanchett.
Yeah, Kate Blanchett. And that guy's famous too, the main guy, but I've forgotten his name.
Oh.
Yeah. The guy who carries it all out. He's famous. He's in things.
Oh, I don't recognise him.
He's a good actor.
I thought it was good, but
Would you
I wouldn't recommend it.
You
no.
wouldn't recommend. See, this is the thing I was thinking about. It is good,
But not good enough.
but it isn't good enough, is it?
Like I wouldn't. If someone recommended it me, I'd be like, okay, it's all right.
If someone recommended it to me, I'd be like, okay, well, maybe they're into things that I don't like, really.
Yeah, it's not creative enough for me. It's not too, and it's a bit like it's good that it was gripping in that sense. It just they slowly peeled a bit of a secret at a time in each episode.
Yes.
And it was good in that sense, but there were still parts where it was predictable and predictable.
Spoiler alert here, just in case.
Okay.
We are going to do spoilers. Spoiler alert, guys. Disclaimer, Sacha Baron Cohen. What's her name? Kate Blanchett, etc. Right, go on.
And predictable's okay, but it just, the storyline wasn't good enough for me. It wasn't creative enough for me to,
do you know,
watch a season 2 or recommend it to somebody else.
Yeah. Do you know what it was with me, right? And you'll remember this because of how when we first started watching it, we were struggling to watch it.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm actually genuinely struggling to watch this. I don't know if I can carry on watching this because the way it's going, the pace and the style of it, it's just unusual. I don't know if I'm it was a bit, the pace of it was strangely slow. Extremely depressing.
Yes.
Wasn't it really depressing?
Yeah, and there were parts of the show where it was a bit frustrating.
Especially the first 2 episodes, I'd say.
Yeah.
After the first episodes, you kind of got somewhere. This part's bothering me. After that, right, you've kind of got somewhere and you know what's going on, right?
Yeah.
And then you're okay, you're in the momentum. But at the start, when they're setting the scene and they're setting the vibe, no. I was proper struggling to watch it.
Yeah.
But there was something that kept me in there though, because the style of it, there was something interesting about the style of it. It was a bit different. I could see that this is a book. You could see it.
Okay.
The experience came to me as this is a book. And I feel like that's probably the most bookish experience I've actually ever had.
Okay. Do
you know what I mean?
I get that. The mystery of it is, I think, what made me keep watching. What is happening?
Yeah.
What's wrong with her? And why she's got this strange relationship, distance with her son and husband as well, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I would give it a 6.
I'm
max,
at the same area.
out of 10.
Yeah, I'd give it a 6 out of 10 too.
Yeah.
I think if you like the book, you might like what they've done. Okay. The beginning was very hard to watch. I really could see the book in it, which was interesting because it was narrated a lot. A lot of it was narrated, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it was narrated through different voices as well, through different perspectives. It wasn't just one.
Yeah.
And that was interesting because that gave us more exposition, more information about the actual show itself.
Yeah.
But it was just.
Do you want to talk about what the film is about?
Yeah. We'll go. Yeah, we'll go on. We'll go on to that. We'll cover that now. Perfect time. Yeah. So, what it's about, it's basically a whodunit. Because at the end, we still don't really know what the truth was, really. It's the story of a woman who goes on. Well, who is it the story of, actually? Is it the story of the parents who have lost a child? Or is it the story of the woman who...
Well, the main character is Kate, so we can say it's Kate's story.
Okay.
Isn't it?
I think it's a little bit arguable who the main character is, but
Yeah.
we'll go from the perspective that Kate Blanchett is the main character. But then again, guys, it is arguable. It could be multiple people in a way. Could even be the husband in a way, but I doubt it's going to be him.
No, she's got the most airtime, hasn't she? So it's her story.
Well,
she went on holiday.
Her and that granddad guy. The dude, the old man.
She's still got more exposure.
Okay, so it's her story, and what's happened is she has basically had a fling while on a holiday, and her young son is on holiday there with her. The husband, Sacha Baron Cohen, had to like disappear for like business or something, and that leaves Kate Blanchett and her son, who is about 7 years old.
Oh, would you say so?
9 years old? Less? 5?
No, I think he was like 4, 5.
Okay, about 5 years old, I'd
Yeah.
say. So yeah, the 5-year-old and Kate Blanchett are left in where are they? Should we say Spain?
Yeah, somewhere on holiday. I can't remember now.
Yeah,
It's been
somewhere
a while.
random. Yeah, we'll say Spain, right? There they are. They're in Spain, and right at the same time, this kid, this young boy,
Yeah,
I forgot his name. Don't matter. We'll call him young boy
yeah,
or teenager.
yeah.
Photographer,
This young photographer, yeah.
right? Young photographer boy. He's on holiday at the same place with his girlfriend, and something goes a bit wrong. They have an argument and stuff, and the girlfriend
Leaves.
leaves.
Goes back home. So he's on his own as well.
Yeah.
And then they basically end up hooking up.
Yeah, so now that lady, Kate Blanchett, is having young Kate Blanchett is having a fling with photographer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They're having a fling and stuff, and he's getting too attached. He's like, oh, I want to come back to London with you and live with you and stuff. And she's like, no, do one. You were just a holiday romance type thing.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, no, I'm obsessed. And then while that's going on, at some point throughout the story, Kate Blanchett's son is like, he's on a little dinghy, a little boat.
They're on the beach.
They're on the beach.
She was on the beach with the son.
Yeah.
She fell asleep. Yeah, she had a little nap on the beach. And when she woke up, her son was like floating in the sea.
Yeah.
Like drowning.
He'd taken the dinghy and gone into the sea, like, and it's all rough and really bad.
Yeah.
Um,
And the photographer guy runs out and basically tries to save the son,
yeah,
doesn't he?
yeah.
And the son's rescued, but
Some
and-
other people come and rescue. Some people
Yeah.
come and join.
yeah. So the child is safe now, but everyone's forgotten about him in the sea.
Everyone's forgotten about the photographer guy in the sea who initially went.
So he ends up drowning and dies.
He ends up drowning because they all think, oh, we've got the kid back, but they forgot about the first guy who went out there who was a photographer.
Yeah,
And then he drowns basically.
yeah. And then the camera. It's interesting because the camera moves like to Kate, doesn't it? And it shows
he's
her,
drowning at this point.
Yeah, while he's drowning, it shows her seeing him drown and not asking for help, not getting anyone to
so
help
she's
him.
got her child back. She's on the beach. She's got her child back. She's wrapping him up, and loads of like rescuers are like around them
Yeah.
and stuff. And then she's like thinking, wait a minute, because she saw photographer boy run into the water, so she knows, isn't it? Obviously.
Yeah,
And then she's like looking at him, and she can see him drowning, but she's not alerting anybody.
yeah.
Pretty crazy that.
So at that point, you're thinking, is she wanting him dead because she doesn't want their affair to be exposed? You know, she doesn't want any ties with him when they get back home, kind of thing, or what? But then later on in the story, she tells his dad, because his dad is like the man that is trying to
Take revenge.
take revenge on her and her family.
Photographer's dad,
Photographer's dad, this is.
who's known as Old Man.
I've forgotten the name. So.
Yeah, forget the names. Old Man, photographer's dad.
So she tells him that, you know, basically...
She got R-worded.
Yes.
Just covering that in case we say the actual word, because you know what things can be like. Go on.
Yeah, so she wanted him dead because he R-worded her. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is what's interesting, because this is what makes it a whodunit, right? Because Kate Blanchett is saying that she got R-worded, but then where's the evidence? And then she says, I actually kept the evidence, but then when he passed away, I figured I didn't need the evidence anyway. So I threw it away. Which, all of it kind of makes sense. And she was like, I would then never have to explain this to my husband and to my son or whatever. And so I just wanted this got rid of, so I got rid of the evidence. So it becomes this story of like, who do you believe? Because photographer's dad learns the story through photographer's mum. And photographer's mum learns the story basically through Kate Blanchett herself. But Kate Blanchett was like, well, I'm not going to tell the mother of someone, the mother of a dead photographer's son. Yeah. Like, photographer boy's died. I'm not going to go and tell the mum that he R-worded me. Why would I do that and just add insult to injury? So it's interesting because all of these intricate details are all very plausible. But there's other parts of it, like, there's things like, so this photographer boy is painted like this little, proper little, butter wouldn't melt, really pure and perfect in one side. The mother was so wild about him, photographer's mum was so crazy about him, that she was obsessed. When he passed away, she couldn't get over it. Innit? But then the father was like, photographer's dad, old man, he was like, yeah, do you know what? Like, you kind of have been mothering him and covering his bad things a bit too much. Because apparently he didn't just break up with his girlfriend on holiday. Apparently he was bad to his girlfriend on holiday. And he was bad to her often. And that would make sense as to how he would be able to R-word somebody. So it was just like, it was just so crazy how like all these little parts fit together.
Yeah.
In a sense, very good.
Yeah.
That's what it was about. That's what it was about, basically.
Because still, by the end of it, it was like, do you believe her or not?
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Who do you believe?
So do you believe her then?
I don't believe her.
Oh.
I don't know. It's hard to say. Basically, my thing is, right, that she should have still reported it. She should have kept all the evidence. Kept hold of the evidence and should have still reported it, in my opinion. And the photographs were also a bit too weird.
Yes. Yeah, I get that. But
because he was taking photographs of her and stuff, because he's a photographer. So he was taking weird pictures of her.
I think I believe her.
You think you believe, yeah?
I believe her story, yeah.
I'm proper on the edge. I could believe her too. Because the girlfriend's mum, she was like, yeah, your son is blah, blah, this and that. He's stay away from my daughter. So there's another one to say that, like...
Well, we did see the rebellious side of him at the beginning. It was in the first episode, wasn't it? Where they're like running off and not paying they were in Italy.
Yeah.
You know, those... Those touristy little boat things.
Yeah. Running off, yeah.
Yeah, and being a little wild.
He was being
with
bad,
the girlfriend at the time.
Mm.
So he's got that, wild side, I guess.
Yeah.
Rough side. So, yeah, so I think it's believable. And I'd like to think that there's reason to why she didn't save him in the sea. Other than just to, keep the affair a secret.
Performances. What did you think about the performances? I thought
average.
They were... Really?
Yeah.
I thought they were really good.
Yeah, I didn't like Sasha.
I actually did.
No, I didn't like Sasha's interpretation of the husband.
Interesting.
Or the dad. Yeah.
I liked all of them.
I didn't think he suited it, and it wasn't convincing enough for me.
Okay. I liked all of them. I mean, I even like that crackhead son that he had.
The son was okay. And I think Kate did okay too.
Yeah, and the old man? And the old lady?
Yeah, old man, old lady, good. But, yeah. I suppose husband and wife, average for me.
Okay.
Kate and Sasha for me.
All right. Okay. For me as well, the old lady, photographer's mum, old lady, she was good. She turned into a recluse basically because she was so beat up and eaten up by the grief,
Yeah.
which in itself is an interesting thing. Like grief can really eat people up, and just keep an eye on that thing.
I feel like Sasha, the husband, he would have been. There wasn't enough aggression from him. Like you'd be a bit more angry. Wouldn't you?
He did kick her out though.
Yeah, but it was still too subtle and tame and not realistic enough for me anyway.
I get you.
It was just too all airy fairy, and like even the way he was shouting in the show, it was very almost a bit, do I want to say it, almost a bit camp.
No, yeah, I think so too.
Like it was like no, that's not an angry man husband.
Yeah.
Like it didn't make sense. Like I
think
understand. Do you not care about the marriage, the wife? Is that why you look half-assed?
I think that's how he comes across. I think that's a bit of a him thing, you know. I think
I don't know. I mean, this is actually the first like drama, that I've seen him in, a serious-ish drama, that I've seen him act in. But the rest of the stuff, I don't watch a lot of this stuff, but the previous things have been like, you know, the silly stuff.
Yeah, Ali G and stuff, Borat.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just not used to it, but for me, it wasn't convincing enough. The husband, if you had a wife and your marriage was like that, and the relationship with your son, your family life is strange, not close, not loving, that doesn't seem very supportive, and everyone seems to be doing their own thing, and he tries to seem unhappy as well. He wants to be happy, but he was unhappy, and that could have been portrayed a bit better, I think.
Okay.
And then Kate, she's a great actress, but I feel like there was areas where like it didn't make sense for me too. Like it might not be to do with the acting. It could just be, you know, just how it was written.
What areas?
Like I just think, I don't know. I just feel like maybe Nicole Kidman would have played it a bit different, a bit better.
Oh, interesting.
Like she's obviously like taunted, isn't she?
Yeah.
But I didn't see enough of it when she was supposed to be like really tormented by it.
Yeah.
And then like the relationship with the son was like, I get it, that's, you know, your history has now affected your relationship with the son. Maybe the son is a constant daily reminder that, you know, you left somebody to die in the sea. But like there should have been more of those scenes where there's guilt, there's love, but there's pain with the son. That would have played it a bit better for the audience. Like, why is she like that with the son? Because throughout the whole thing, up until the end, you just thought that she was just a mad mum.
Yeah.
Just a bad mum, maybe. Like, oh, she just don't like him or something.
Yeah,
I just feel like I don't know, maybe it's just the script writing. Maybe not her fault, but... you know.
But yeah. It is an interesting one. For me, it really pulls me in like two directions, like all over the place. Like,
yeah.
I think I'm going to go with performances were good. I liked them. But I can see how like the flip side exists and how like they weren't all that.
Yeah.
It really does. This is the one show I think that really pulls me like in both directions, where I'm like, did I like it? Did I not like it? Was the pace that bad? Or is that because of the style? And like, I tell you what I didn't like, right? The part where old man is visiting hospital. Yeah. So what happens is Cate Blanchett's son ends up in hospital, and it's all orchestrated by the old man. He enacts like loads of like revenge and stuff. What he does is he writes a book, and that book gets shared out to like everybody who Cate Blanchett knows. But he leaves a message to certain people to say that this book is about Cate Blanchett. It's about her, and this is her story. So people like know that, oh my God, this was you when you were younger. This is what you did. Disgraceful, disgusting, all that lot. And he does that kind of thing with Kate Blanchett's son, because he wants to kill their son, basically. You killed my son, I'm killing yours, is basically the storyline. And he works out a way to get Kate Blanchett's son into the hospital. And then Old Man starts visiting the hospital and trying to, like,
Kill him.
further... Yeah, like, poison him, basically. But Kate Blanchett doesn't, like, shout out and say something like, oh, he's a stalker, or something like that. So, Old Man manages to keep his access to the hospital. That bit was wrong for me. I was like, okay, that's a massive hole in my opinion. But yeah, I think that basically covers it all off. It was interesting in its own way.
Yeah.
Very hard to watch for the first 2 episodes. The first one especially.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was struggling to watch it. I really, really was.
Yeah, we had to persevere.
And I don't normally have to persevere with stuff. I was like, I do not. I'm like pushing myself to watch this. Watch it just for that if you want, for that experience.
Yeah. I just think Sasha's like lazy acting. He doesn't suit serious acting. He's not a good actor for me.
I agree.
He can't do him. It doesn't suit him.
Yeah, you can still see too much of him in whatever he does.
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons that was putting me off at the beginning. Like, no, I'll watch it for her. Let's carry on a bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that wraps it up.
Yep.
Disclaimer, watch it, make your own mind up, put your comments in the comments below. If you've already watched it, what did you think? Do you agree with us, disagree with us? Who was your best performance in that show? Next, we will move on and let's talk about Dark Matter.
Yeah.
Just quickly though, these are all Apple shows that we're talking about.
Yeah.
I just realised.
Yeah, it's been quite good on Apple recently.
Apple's got some very good dramatic stuff.
Yeah, serious.
Serious.
A bit more serious stuff, aren't they?
They do it well. So Dark Matter.
Yeah. Love it.
Love it?
Yes.
Spoiler alert, guys. Here you go. Spoiler alert.
I think that's one of my favourite shows I've watched, other than Severance.
Wow, really?
Yes.
So that goes like after Severance in like the list, basically.
After Severance.
Before
Yes.
Severance.
After Severance, yes.
After Severance.
Just by a bit.
Okay.
Just by a bit, though, for me.
Okay, Dark Matter. Dark Matter. So, yeah, I thought it was amazing as well.
Yeah.
It was very well done.
It's a thriller show on Apple, and it's creative. The actors are great. Great actors. Great acting, because...
That is challenging acting.
Yeah.
That is challenging what
because
they did.
each actor is playing multiple characters.
Yeah, like 5 parts.
Yeah.
Oh
Playing
my
themselves,
God.
but not.
Yeah. Playing themselves, but a version of themselves who's had different experiences.
Yeah.
So this is a version of myself, but...
Especially the main guy. What's he called, the actor?
I don't know what he's called.
Oh, gosh, let me quickly research it.
You research it, and I'll tell you guys a bit about the story, okay? So first things first, guys. Have you seen Sliders? I can bet you haven't seen Sliders. It's a show with the main character called like Mallory Quinn or something. It was amazing, right? Sliders was a show from, when was it now? From absolutely ages ago, like, I want to say like the 90s. And it was the same thing. Here is the very basic bare bones of Sliders. I'm going to tell you about Sliders first, because that will explain Dark Matter. In Sliders, this guy, scientist guy, manages to make this piece of technology which can put you into a different timeline or dimension. Okay, we're going to stick to timelines, not dimensions. And so it'll put you into a different timeline, and what they've done is they've put themselves into a different timeline, him and about 5 other people, and now they're trying to find their way back to their own original timeline. And the story of Sliders is their struggle to get back to their original timeline. It was actually really good. because they would end up in like really different, really strange environments, and things would happen to them in like just unusual things would happen to them all the way through, and they had to make sure each time they all got back together to be able to transport to the next timeline to try and get home. And that's the story of Sliders. Dark Matter is similar routes. How's your research gone?
Yeah. Joel Edgerton,
Okay.
Australian actor, filmmaker. Joel Edgerton.
Is it possibly Egerton as well? It's one of them names.
No, it's Edgerton.
Edgerton, okay. That's
Yeah.
good. It's clear.
And we've seen him in The Gift.
The Gift.
And he was amazing in that too.
Gordo the Weirdo.
Yeah, that was a great film.
He is really good at cinema and other stuff too. He's really good in what he does.
Warrior, Red Sparrow, The King, Great Gatsby. Where was he?
Yeah,
The Great
he's
Gatsby.
in Great Gatsby, yeah. Basically, do you know Leonardo's love interest? That girl?
Yeah.
He's the other guy.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. He's the guy who, like, she actually is with or whatever.
No, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you got good memory. That's
Yeah, he's versatile.
going way back. Yeah. So great actor.
Yeah,
he
he
did.
is.
He did amazing in this show. He was very good.
Yeah, very talented.
You know when he was going from him the original. What's he called? Whatever the name is.
Yeah.
What's it?
Mark?
Mark.
Was
yeah.
it Mark?
I think it was Mark. Mark. Yeah, I think it was Mark.
I'm thinking Severance Mark.
Oh God, no, maybe it wasn't Mark then.
Do you want to get... It's up to you to get the name if you want.
Okay, one sec.
You get the names, and I'm going to tell you guys about Dark Matter and what it's actually about, right?
Jason
Jason
Dessen.
Jason Dessen.
Yeah, so when he was going from like the original Jason. And then like flipping to the other versions of Jason.
The subtleties.
Like, you could actually tell.
Mm.
Like obviously the makeup, the hair is slightly different, but you could still tell it was very good acting.
Yeah, the subtleties were there.
Yeah, like he'd be like more rough.
By the way,
Or he'd be, huh?
do you know why he was researching him? Do you know why he was writing that down in the book? Why he would go like, went driving today?
Go on, tell me.
He was writing that down in the book so that when he came and took over his life, he could say, oh, do you remember we went driving 3 days ago and I went and I
Yeah.
took like that.
Yeah.
So he was writing it down so he could refer back.
Yeah.
Wild, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go through what it's about then.
Go on.
Right. So this is crazy, right? Imagine this, right? The idea is it's going to be a complicated concept, but you've got to understand it and think about it. Imagine, like, the choices that you make in your life at each yes or no, or at each crossroad in your life. There is a version of you, one which chose the other route which you didn't choose. So in this story, there was a crossroad that came to him. And this crossroad was, does he stay with his partner, who's just got pregnant? Or does he say, look, I ain't the right guy for you. I've got to pursue my life, my studies, my career. I've got lots to do in the scientific world. I'm going to go for that instead. So this is where that crossroad happens. That's what this is about. But of course,
I think it was whether they want to start having a baby or having a family.
I thought she was pregnant though.
I don't think he left her pregnant.
Oh,
I think it was whether we start a family, have a baby and all that, or we don't. It's one of them.
okay, we'll go with that.
And then he regrets it.
Yeah. So basically, he regrets it, right? So basically, what he does is he chooses the life of, I want to follow my scientific engineering and create marvels in the world, right? That's what I want to do. So off he goes, and he starts creating scientific marvels. The other version of him chooses to stay with her, be a family man, and put science behind him. And it's just amazing. So the family man they get together, they have a child. He's about 18 years old when we come into the story. Other side, the science man, he's had a really fruitful scientific career. He's made breakthroughs. He's been able, and I think this device is kept secret but he's been able to create a device which is like a room, basically, a cube-shaped room. You go inside that room, and then after that, you can go to a different timeline. So you can go to a different life, a life where you would have made different decisions. So what he does, he's led this scientific life now, he's done all that stuff, and he thinks, you know what, now I want to see what my life would have been like had I been a family man. So he goes into that cube, manages to find a timeline where he is a family man, grabs that version of himself and knocks him out, puts him into the cube and takes that version into his own life, the life where he chose science. Takes him into his science life, drops him there, and then goes back and takes over the life of that family man. And that's basically where it starts. That's where we are.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing because, like, he's there in that life, but he's disorientated. He's got his wife there. He's got his son, who he's, like, meeting for the first time now. People in their immediate circle are doing different things. Like, one person who is a scientist in the science life is now a lawyer in this life.
Yeah.
And so he's going through, like, social media and trying to work out, like, who's who and what's what, and trying to make sure he makes no mistakes.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
In the real world, though, that would have been, like, too hard, too complicated, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Like they were arranging a gathering with the friends, and he didn't even know the friends' names and what the occupation was. And then he was trying to get around that. In real life, though, you would slip up.
In real life, you'd have to do something different. Do you know what you have
In
to
real life, though, like you'd say, oh, how's, I don't know, how's your husband or something?
Nah.
And they'd be like, what husband? I'm not married.
You know, in real life,
What's wrong with you?
You know what you do in real life? You slip and fall and bang your head really badly and go to hospital for a day or two. That's what you do. And then you go, oh, I can't remember things.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
That's how you should have done it. Can't remember details. Oh, I remember your face, but...
Yeah, so like he was like spending frivolously, wasn't he, on the son's birthday, for example. Yeah. And that must be the opposite of how he usually is.
That's
because
right.
The son was like, I can buy this skateboard.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm driving this car, and I'm doing this, and so...
But it was
the
interesting.
signs were there.
It was interesting, though, wasn't it? Because, like, it was like this other version of him was like, just live your life.
Yeah.
Just do what you gotta do.
Yeah. Everything
will work itself out. So that was very interesting how, like, they had these different ways of doing things. Yeah.
Yeah. I love the acting. I love the characters, the cast.
Yeah.
Great. Really creative.
And so, yeah, we should talk about that's what we've done. So this is where the acting thing comes into it.
Yeah.
Because, like, as it goes on, of course, massive spoiler alert, as it goes on, at each turning point, at each crossroad, there creates another version of you. And so he's creating lots of crossroads for himself. Right? And so by the time it gets to the end, there's about 50 of him.
Yeah.
And they've all been through different things.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And he's, like, acting as each different one.
Yeah.
One thing I'll give you from the makers is the question was posed to the makers, is it possible that the final Jason at the end of the show is not the original Jason who we started with? Because, of course, that could happen because there's so many Jasons at some point, and if they're all fighting each other to try and get back to their family life, that it could be that he's not the original Jason. And the writers, creators, they said, no, we didn't do that. That possibility is there, but that's not our intention.
Yeah.
That at the end is the original Jason.
He looks like the original Jason too.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
So if it wasn't in season 2, if it turns out that he's not, that'd be strange.
Are they doing season 2, do you know?
Yeah.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Oh, crazy.
I already researched.
You love that show, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I watched it all on the plane. I watched most of it on the plane.
No, you didn't. It was only like 2 episodes on the plane, wasn't it?
No, I watched more than that. I watched it at the airport and then I watched it on the plane.
Oh, I think you did actually. Yeah, you
I
did watch a lot.
downloaded.
Yeah, you
well,
did.
I watched 3-4 episodes before I flew.
Yeah, you did.
And then I
it
downloaded
was a
all
lot
of
on
them.
there,
There were
yeah.
9 episodes. So I'd watched it all by like the first day of my holiday.
Yeah. It was good.
Didn't I?
It
So
was.
It was great.
Yeah. The acting was amazing. The idea was brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's sci-fi as well. You don't really like sci-fi. That was impressive.
Yeah, but it's not very sci-fi. I know they talk about superstitions and quantum blah 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 and
It is
all
very
that
sci-fi.
lot, but it's not a lot of that really.
That's just a type of sci-fi which works for you.
Works for me. Yes.
But it was very sci-fi.
Yes, girls, watch it.
It was really
It's
good.
not that hard to understand.
No, it's not.
No.
It's not. They do clarify a lot of it and stuff.
Even though I did ask you, like,
But you knew, I think.
I was like, I don't understand how is there 20 of them?
But I think you knew what was going on, really.
I knew, but like in my head, no. But it was like, how can you jump in and out? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of the box. Do you know? Explain what that box was.
Yeah.
That box is like basically his time machine.
It's not time machine.
See?
So it's not time travel. You're just
Oh
going...
yeah, because I kept asking you, why is he time traveling?
Yeah.
Are we going back?
Yeah, it's not time travel.
And then you explained it to me how.
Yeah, so it's not time travel. It's just different timelines. That's what it is. It's just timelines. So you're still at the same time. You're still in the present, but you're just in you're in a place where different decisions were made.
Yeah.
Like, let's say you were in a different timeline. Mobile phones are all circular, flat and circular. Maybe that's the thing. All screens are circles. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That decision was made. So when you go to that timeline, everything is like
Yeah.
screens are circles.
Do you know what I liked? I liked it when each time they opened the door
Mm-hmm.
and it was a different world.
Yeah.
That was really good.
That was well done, wasn't it?
Really well done. Like one was really modern and futuristic.
Yeah, the
remember?
futuristic world, yeah.
And then they opened one where they were like just snow everywhere.
Those,
just blasted with snow.
Yeah.
And then I just liked it. I just really enjoyed it. Very creative.
It was
and, like,
very
it could show you
creative.
what yeah.
Just they depicted multiverse really well.
They did.
Really, really well. So the idea is you stay geographically in the same place. So geographically, you're in the same place, all right? Which was like New York or something,
Yeah.
right?
No, San Fran, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Okay.
San Fran then.
Yeah. It was
That's
set
where
in
you
San
are.
Fran, I think.
Yeah. And but you change timelines, and then a lot of these timelines are like where the world has ended, or
Yeah.
like climate change has happened, like mental, or or like humans have made bad decisions, and now everything is like carbon, or there was one where it was mass pandemic. Remember that one?
Yeah. Yep.
Mass pandemic, nobody allowed out. So there was just so many different ways that they went with it. The snow one was crazy because they opened it and it was just snow everywhere. But at this point, one of the people, the woman who was in the box, she was like, "I've got to get out. I need to get out of that box." But she almost like killed them both.
Yeah. I liked the world that she stayed in.
Yeah.
In the end.
Yeah. Which
That
is
was
where
nice.
that other guy is as well.
Yeah.
That science friend.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Which is where, of course, I think they're going.
The family are going
Yeah.
in season 2.
Yeah.
Maybe.
What's interesting is how you get from one place to another, like one timeline to another. And the idea is once you're in that box, then you've got to think about the world which you want to get to.
Yeah.
And if you can control your
vision.
thoughts
Yeah.
enough, you can get there.
Yeah.
You open the door and that's where you are, basically.
And then they also have like limited amounts of those capsules.
Yeah. The capsule which like enables you to like go through that state of being able to experience it or something. But yeah. Rating out of 10?
8.5.
Okay, I'm going to give it a 9.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a 9 for me too, actually.
It was very, very, very good.
Wait, what didn't you like about it? What are the weaknesses for you, if any?
The weaknesses for me, in a way, it's like I've seen this in Sliders.
Yeah. Oh, this is based on a book, by the way.
Oh yeah, I think I saw that. Yeah.
Did you?
I wonder how that book is written.
And a lot of people who have read the book really love the book, and yeah, like the story has, like, the plot sticks in the mind, and it's a very memorable book, basically. So when this came out, a lot of people were like, this seems like that book that I read, and then they look at the I think he's called Blair, the person that made the show, and they found out that it is based on this book. So
Wow.
makes me want to read the book.
Yeah.
But no, it's really good. I think they said that it's captured the feeling of the book as well.
Yeah. Yeah. The makers, when I saw the makers interview, they were talking about the book.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
okay,
they're talking
okay.
about how they wanted to keep.
So is the book called Dark Matter as well?
I think so.
Oh, right.
There was some question that was left lingering from the book, which they answered in this.
Oh, right.
Yeah, but I've forgotten what it is.
Okay.
But it was really good. I'll give you one example. So he's trying to get. One thing that I really loved, first of all, is. So we're talking about a guy who is extremely clever. So in all the timelines,
Yeah.
he's really clever,
Yeah.
right? He's so smart that the one who didn't choose a science life was smart enough to work out what had happened.
Yeah.
Like, one of me from a different timeline has come and grabbed me and put me in his. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I like that, at that end episode, that last episode, where, like, he had to make a decision where, like, he can't make, because if he made the decision, the other versions of him
would know.
No, because that's what he would do.
Yeah.
They would all do.
Yeah.
So they ended up, like, taking a choice of the son, didn't they? Where to hide.
Yeah. Somebody else made the decision.
Yeah.
Very clever. But this is what I was going to say, right? Aside from that whole... It was really good going through that journey of working it all out with this really clever scientist.
Yeah.
So aside from that, the other part of it that's really good is, like, he's working it out now, how to get home. He knows that he's got to start envisioning this world, right? And you can see that he's envisioning it bit by bit. Because at one point, he gets to a house and he's now in the house. Everything looks pretty much bang on.
Mm.
The city looks correct. The traffic looks correct. The house looks correct. He gets to the house. He opens the door. His wife is there.
Yeah.
And then she, like, screams.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Get out of my house!"
Yeah.
She calls her son, and her son is like, "Get out! What are you doing here?" Blah blah blah. And that's a timeline where something's
Went
really
wrong.
badly wrong in their relationship. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, they probably have got, like, a restraining order on him or something like that at this
Yeah.
point. So it's really clever because that's almost identical to his world, but it just isn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was just, like, genius.
Yeah, it was. Tricked us.
Yeah. And then, slowly, he actually gets back to his own world. Or we think it is.
What do you think will happen in season 2? Like, it was, like, season 1 was so good. I said to you, didn't I, like, they can't make another season, because they can't make it better than this season. Where can they go with this? Like, they've just left now as a family, happy days, and that's it. Go to a good world, nice world, and that's it.
Well,
End.
The maker has got this kind of obsession with open ends.
All right.
Right. He's got this obsession with, like, keeping certain things really open so you can really run away with it in your mind.
Yeah.
So there's that. I'll tell you where I think it's going to go, but I really like that this first season, it's complete in itself. Like, even without a second season, this in itself is a full...
That's what I mean. That's why I thought
I really like that.
they don't really need a season 2.
Yeah.
Really.
I would like to know where they've gone.
Maybe one episode.
Yeah. I would like to know where they've gone. That would make this more complete.
Yeah.
But this in itself is really... There's no cliffhanger that we're really waiting for. Not really. Not
Yeah.
nail-biting.
But also, at the same time, though, why did they need to leave?
Apparently, because they would have kept getting hounded and chased by his other versions.
But then you could just tell the other versions that this is it, guys. See you later.
Go away.
Go away. Because, and if they didn't go away, then surely they could go and still find them in the next season, couldn't they?
Well, it depends on who makes the choice on where they go. If he doesn't make the decisions anymore as to where they go, then they can't find him.
Okay.
According to their rules in that world.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I think that they've all gone to the futuristic world, and season 2, I think season 2 is going to be more sci-fi.
Yeah.
Because it's a futuristic world.
Yeah.
But I don't know what they're going to do there.
Interesting.
Maybe there's going to be some. I don't know where they could take it. Could be really interesting. Could be really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely brilliant. As opposed, not like Disclaimer, which we just described. This one we would strongly recommend.
Yes.
Openly recommend.
Yeah, I have recommended it to a few people.
Already recommended. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely worth watching. That is Dark Matter.
On Apple.
On Apple. Yeah, we are not sponsored by Apple, but feel free to send us money. Yes, so that is Dark Matter. Absolutely stunning. Really well put together.
Do you want to talk about Severance next and where we're up to?
Yeah.
And a little update on what your reviews are.
Yeah. Let's talk about Severance. So.
By the way, you know that dance scene?
In Severance,
that infamous
Milchek
dance scene, yeah. The Milchek dance.
Yeah.
I think it's known as. That wasn't like scripted. That was like
what?
When they filmed it, they didn't know, they didn't say it was going to be in the show.
Oh wow.
They just filmed it and see what happens. Wow. So they just said, right, just have fun and just. Yeah, the choreographer said, right, we're going to put this musical on, and then you just find your own groove and have fun, and that's what they all did, and Milchek did his Milchek dance, and now it's like the famous scene, viral dance. Everyone's been.
Have they been thinking?
Yeah, they've been.
I have not seen this. I'm going to find this because I've not seen this.
There's been a few. There's been a few. I've seen a couple. But yeah, everyone's been talking about that scene, and I watched an interview recently, and that's what he said.
Wow, that's crazy.
He did well in that scene, and they put it in.
Yeah, like that scene is like it's quite important actually. Like when you look at it, and because Dylan bit Milchek, didn't he, in that scene?
Oh.
Yeah, he bit Milchek in that scene because he was burning.
Scene?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
He wasn't dancing. He was sitting on his computer burning because of the overtime thing.
Yeah.
Then he bit him, and then when Milchek went away, then he told the guys they can wake us up outside.
Yeah.
But that's what's amazing about that is I feel like everyone did the right thing as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Milchek
because when you look at it again, Helly looks a little bit like a little shy, a little nervous, a little don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And Milchek comes across as like the confident.
Most confident.
Yeah, confident, happy.
Proper doing what he wants.
Spirit, yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's Mark.
Yeah.
Who's like.
NPC.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
Just like proper Mark, like
yeah.
proper Mark did
tries,
the right thing. Yeah.
Like,
like that's all he's going to do is like a little step.
A little moves. Yeah.
And that's him happy.
And then
Irv.
Yeah, he was stood there like stiff.
Yeah.
Like serious face.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it was good.
Character.
It was good. Yeah. So that I didn't know that was thingy because even the lights were like involved.
Yeah.
Right. So Severance, season 2. All right, guys. So I think I'm gonna come out and say it.
Oh God, what?
The first season was better.
Oh.
I see the first season as literally perfect. Now, the second season is not finished yet. Okay, it is not finished yet.
Do you feel like it's a bit all over the place?
A bit, yeah.
Yeah, same.
Like, last night we just watched the one about Miss Corbell.
Episode 8.
Episode 8, yeah. Something like Sweet Vitriol or something about Corbell. Harmony Corbell.
They're doing
and-
the history now of it
Yeah.
all, and going into each character's background now, aren't
Yeah.
they? And I don't know how they're gonna tie it all in the next, what is it, 2-3 episodes?
That's right. They've got to tie it all together.
So it's gonna be, obviously, it'll definitely be a cliffhanger, just like the
Yeah.
first season, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, I know what you mean. It's not as gripping.
Yeah, and like the first season was extremely efficient.
Well built together.
Yeah.
To the last episode.
It was extremely efficient. All of it was, every scene, every bit of dialogue was required. And it was very small cast,
Yeah.
right? Very inny outy life.
Yeah.
And a lot of it was inny, like inside Lumen, at work, right? And I feel like that's the part we'd like to see.
Mm.
We like to see inside Lumen and what's happening in there.
Mm.
That Lumen life, that really strongly branded life, where now
It's a lot more outy.
a lot more outy,
Yeah.
yeah. And with each outie, it's less uniformed because they've all got their own life, whatever, yeah. And along with that, in my opinion, there's a lot of filler,
Yeah.
or at least we can't distinguish what is filler and what isn't filler right
Yeah,
now.
we can't anymore.
When they tie it up, we might be like, okay, yep, I get it. That was efficient. That was efficient. That was required. That was required. But I suppose we're waiting for it to be tied up then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I still do like a lot of what I see,
Yeah.
because even just last night in the Corbell one, episode 8, like when Miss Corbell went to her old town, which they made that look like an interesting alien environment by itself. That was one thing. And we could still see Lumen, the Lumen branding around, which you spotted. And this was the first season where it wasn't in chronological order. In other words, they went back in time. One thing that I actually really praised Severance for is the fact that it's all linear. All of it is staying like, it's just telling you the story from the start to the finish. But I do know that inevitably they would have to go back and tell us about how they both met and what happened and what the story was and everything else. So that's what we get to see in this one. They do go back and we see the meeting of Mark and Gemma. What did you think of that episode? Because that had its own style as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was good, but I thought that they didn't seem as lovey-dovey as I thought they were.
Yeah. Like it was very subtle, wasn't it?
Yeah, very.
Like we kind of couldn't see how they were obsessed with each other.
Yeah.
The way they seem obsessed with each other now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it's one of them things where maybe you
Maybe
don't
it was
see
because it was like, it was all because of the struggles with being pregnant, getting pregnant and, having a baby and stuff that masked the feelings.
Yeah.
The strong feelings for each other a little bit. But yeah.
There was a lot of nostalgia in that.
Yeah, there was.
You could see it.
Yeah, there was.
And I actually liked his house and like how they lived in a way.
Yeah.
It was almost idyllic.
Yeah.
You know, like how people like imagine like life's gonna be and all this.
Married life, yeah. No, it's cute.
Yeah. And they both met like giving blood or something, didn't they?
Yeah. No, it was sweet, nice. What do you think is going to happen then in the next couple of episodes? And like, how do you think it's going to end?
I think
this season.
I think before we get to that, let's just go over this season a little bit more.
Okay.
What I mean by that is like, because some big things have happened.
Yeah.
Like, we've seen Gemma.
Yeah.
And that is pretty huge, really.
Yeah, that's true. Like Gemma and all those rooms.
Yes.
And what about the room master guy?
Yes.
Old man.
So let's go over that episode. What did you think of that episode and us seeing Gemma again? Because I know that we were discussing this, weren't we?
Interesting. It was an interesting episode.
It is.
And it is what I expected to be happening.
Like experimenting on her. I didn't
on her.
think that that's how they were experimenting on her. I thought that they were experimenting on...
Like taking things out of her brain and stuff.
Yes.
Like more science. Yeah.
Or like adjusting the actual implant thing.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I thought they were doing. Taking her out, reprogramming, adjusting it, bringing it back in. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe putting her through simulations. But in a way they were putting her through simulations, but it was like proper severing her for each one.
Yeah. They were still testing her memory though, weren't they? In each room and checking what she knows, not know what she remembers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's probably good in that sense that it's not gory.
It wasn't gory, yeah. I'm glad about that too. The airplane one was good, isn't it? The airplane room was my favourite room.
Yeah.
That airplane room was well good. So like, it was like she was severed. Maybe severed just for flights.
Yeah.
That's what it was. I was thinking it was severed just for like flight turbulent situations.
Yeah.
So somehow when it gets turbulent, they can flick a switch and sever you.
Yeah.
But it's not that. You're severed for the whole flight probably. Yeah. So I was going to say, yeah. So that okay. So now the thing is about that episode where they reveal Gemma and what's happening to Gemma, right?
Yeah.
I feel like it just wasn't dramatic enough. They just showed us Gemma, they revealed it, and we're just like, yep, here it is, this is what's happening. I would have preferred it to have been more dramatic.
Yeah. Maybe that's still to come.
They can't though, they've shown us her now.
I know they showed it us, Gemma, but they can still go back in time, like, you know, like when they meet, like as in when Mark and Gemma meet, maybe they'll show us a clip of like a little bit of how
it got to that,
how it got from, you know,
or that's
normal Gemma to.
That's what we are waiting for that.
Yeah.
We are definitely waiting for how she got from car crash.
To
inside Severance.
Inside Lumen.
But one thing that I was saying is that like they could have revealed this Gemma thing slowly over time. Like they could have disorientated us a little bit and like either given us shots of Gemma in each room. Like, okay, so it's episode 1 season 2 and they're doing their stuff, all the innie stuff's happening and all that lot, right? And then we'll just get a shot of like Gemma writing Christmas cards. And we just think, what the hell is going on? But they don't answer it, just carry on. And then next episode, it's all happening, and we see Gemma in like a turbulent airplane situation. And that was we would probably think that was her history. We're looking at her like some kind of flashback.
Yeah. Or future.
Something like that. We'd look at that.
Yeah, I get you.
And then when we put it on, we're like, oh no, this is actually present. This is all now. And these aren't memories from different places. These are all inside Lumen, different severed situations.
Yeah, I get you. They could have teased us a bit more with the Gemma situation.
And disorientated us a little bit more, like.
Yeah.
That would have been interesting. Yeah. So there was that. I really liked the outie experience where they all went out on that outing. And, of course... Now, I'm just going to... Well, in fact, let me finish the outie thing, and then I'm going to come on to a little rant about Helly. Yeah. So that outie experience was, like, really interesting, because we got to see, like, the outside world, mountains or whatever and stuff. And some, like, weird backstory of Kia and stuff. Some really weird backstory. But then, of course, we got to see the Glasgow block. Now, let me just quickly say something about the Glasgow block, right? I made a video, which was before I watched the second season, talking about things that we're going to expect, maybe. In fact, I think it was maybe after episode 1 that we watched, but I've already made a video. And I said in that video, I reckon they are going to show us more of the different types of severed things like OTC, Glasgow block. There was Elephant, there was Lullaby.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think we're going to learn more about them. And that's what's kind of happening. So I got that one right. I'm claiming that. Anyway, onto the... Well, that outie experience was really interesting, really crazy. Of course, Innie Mark had some action with Outie Helly. Now, let me just talk about the Outie Helly thing first of all, right? I've looked over these episodes, right, a few times, and I don't think one can work out that she is the outie. Right? I know that the hints are very subtle, extremely subtle. Oh, she couldn't find the on switch for the computer. Oh, okay. And oh, she didn't really hug him. Or when she first came out of the elevator and he hugged her, she was a bit awkward. But I'm like, all of that is justifiable for Innie Helly. Innie Helly has just come from a conference where she's ranting about what it's like to be an innie. And then next thing, she's getting hugged by Mark.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be subtle.
That's the thing, it is supposed to be subtle, but I think that it was too subtle. I think it was too subtle to the extent that the makers had leaked that she is the outie to prepare us. So when we watched and found out that she's the outie, we were kind of more with it. Whereas if that leak never got to us, we would have been like, huh? She's the outie? How has that happened? We would have, like, it would have gone down a bit.
But we would have eventually knew that it was outie anyway.
Because they would have told us. Because they tell us in the story, innit?
Yeah, in the story.
But what I mean is, that moment was supposed to be a big reveal. But for us, it was less because we were already suspecting. And we were suspecting because it was said. And it was... Do you get it? We didn't determine that ourselves. That was the problem. I think they leaked it. And that got... Do you see what I'm saying, though? Like...
Yeah.
It would have been... had we worked it out ourselves, I'd be like, okay... There were clues, and we worked it out ourselves, and we were suspicious. But because there weren't really clues, and it got to us through a leak, not through the show, it got through to us, like, you know, outside. And so, yeah, do you get it? The actual show was supposed to be like a big... And if it was a big reveal, like, oh my God, she's the outie, we might have been like, that's a bit of a mistake, that, because I don't really see how that fits or works. But because it was said on the outside first, and then people are like analysing it and finding all the very too subtle reasoning. What I'm trying to get at here is, I think the makers made Outie Helly story, that whole Outie Helly coming in, they made that story too subtle, in my opinion. And it was too subtle, so they leaked it. That's what I think.
Okay. Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Fair point.
But that was crazy, though. The outie coming in, that was mad.
Yeah.
Apparently the reasoning is that she doesn't really like her life on the outside. She feels suffocated. She's like not really respected, although she is respected. And then she's like kind of like controlled by her family in a way. She's got to walk these shoes which she don't want to walk in. Whereas Innie Helly was very free and did what she wanted. And could do what she wanted in a way. It's like a different world, like a world that's cut off from the outside. No one knows how much of a big dog she is. And so she wanted to be in that Innie world. What do you think of I mean, I'm just want to mark on here as well how Innie Mark is getting all the action. Innie Mark has had some time with Outie Helly and Innie Helly.
Yeah, that was a funny scene.
Outie Mark hasn't seen a woman in years. I was just going to say, though, what do you think of Helly meeting Outie Mark in that restaurant?
Oh, yeah.
What is going on?
I think that she's got to be pregnant.
Oh, she could be in it.
Yeah, she's
got to be.
She's gonna be. Or gotta be.
She has got to be.
Well, if she isn't pregnant, then I think she just wants to... I feel like the outie is competing with the Innie Helly.
Oh, interesting.
So, do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I'm going to try and find out who he is on the outside too.
Yeah.
Like...
She might have a thing for him now.
You might have the Innie Mark, I'm going to have the outie Mark.
Yeah.
kind of thing. That's what I feel like. I think she's obviously portrayed as like a very
conflicted,
lonely,
yeah,
conflicted but lonely, sad daughter of
big dog. Yeah.
So
Eager.
I think she's probably seen like the innie is happier than her, so she wants to like get a bit of that happiness. And trying to spend some time with Mark, getting to know him, and maybe even trying to get a relationship with him.
Yeah.
But he didn't really like that, did he?
No, because she is like, imagine like the founder of Apple or something, going into like some tiny little weird takeaway,
Yeah.
and sits in front of you.
Yeah.
It's like, huh?
Yeah.
That was.
And she's just very like stiff as well, isn't she? She's very serious, stiff, and like she's very awkward, and she doesn't really know how to like converse with someone, really.
Yeah. And like kind of be normal in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that life has kind of taken over a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, Innie Helly is fun though.
That was mad.
She's funny.
Yeah. She is. That was mad when like they brought her back. Go on, like, say something.
When she said, I want to have that experience too.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
I know, same me. I was like, huh?
But that is also very Innie Helly.
That is very Innie Helly.
So in a way it was like kind of well scripted.
Yeah. Yeah. It was right for her character, yeah. Yeah, very well put together. I like how the show does things like foreshadowing. Apparently there was one where when he shows when Milchek goes to Irving, and he either fires him or hires him back. I can't remember, but it's one of them two. After that happens, there's a transition over the screen where Milchek is on his motorbike.
Yeah.
And you can still see Irving, and Milchek drives the motorbike across his neck as if to like kill him, and which is what Milchek basically does, isn't it? He basically kills him. So there's that. But the other one that I really, really liked, when you look at that video, which was in like one of the first or second episode, I think it was the first episode, the video which was like about Lumen, and it's about the building and stuff, where Keanu Reeves is voicing over, they show this part where they do apple bobbing, and the one who's bobbing for the apple is Helly, like she's being drowned. And right next to her appears Irving. So they're proper like foreshadowing that like something's going to happen there. Somebody else was like, I think that there's going to be other foreshadowings from that video that we're going to see later on. There's one in there where Dylan eats something from the vending machine and he goes like weird high or something.
Okay.
So they go, that may be like on its way.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting stuff, the way it's all been put together.
What about Irving going to Thingy's house?
Bert's house. There's more to that, isn't there?
Yeah.
There's a lot more.
That was interesting.
Yeah.
And then it was exposed in that scene as well where Bert's partner, can't remember the name, had basically said when he started Lumen, which was
20 odd years ago.
Yeah. And that was prior to Severance,
which was 12 years ago.
So obviously he's like one of the OGs of Lumen.
Yeah.
So he's either one of these quite powerful ones at Lumen, and it could possibly also mean that he works for them outside and inside.
Yeah, he might still be involved. Yeah.
Yeah.
He might still be involved somehow, somewhere.
Which kind of that's what I said. Like, kind of explains how that guy went to Irving's house.
So yeah, when Irv was at the dinner party at Bert's house, that big chunky Lumen man searched Irving's house.
Yeah.
And that proper tells you that somehow, somewhere, they're in cahoots or something. They're working together.
Yeah.
It's interesting, isn't it?
And also, like, Bert's life seems a lot more, like, settled, and he seems happy, and he also comes across like he's knowledgeable and
to me, right?
Informative.
You know how Bert's life comes across to me? Bert's life comes across to me like somebody who is like imagine a Jason Bourne, right?
Yeah.
A spy type thing, right?
Yeah.
A proper military spy agent guy who is hell bent on what he must achieve.
Mm.
And he is living his life to achieve whatever goal he's after. That's what he looks like to me. Like a sniper. Like live alone, everything like solitary.
Yeah.
And he's got that one track mind. That's what he is to me. And that's like why he was painting that same picture every day. It's like, what are you doing? He was waiting for that to get to his innie somehow, somewhere. And he achieved it. He is one to watch. He is like, that's the one thing about this second season is it has proper flipped Irv over. He has been completely flipped in my estimation as to like who he was, what he is. On the inside, he was lumen through and through on the inside, right? That makes me think on the outside, whatever it is he believes on the outside, he is that through and through. He's that kind of person. So yeah. And he's so clever.
What do you think about what's the other guy called again?
Dylan?
Yes, Dylan.
Yeah, Dylan.
And wife
That is weird.
relationship.
Yeah, that is really weird. I think she is to some degree neglected, or feels like she is.
Yeah, I don't feel like they're in love anymore.
No, they're not. And Innie is in love with her. Innie Dylan is in love with her, I think.
Yeah.
Innie Dylan is in love with her, right? And that's what it's about.
But I feel like she's groomed him a little.
Innie?
Yeah.
Yeah, she has.
She's groomed the Innie one to fall in love with her.
But I feel like she's kind of
But it's
groomed
probably
both. I feel like she's groomed Innie one to be like that, and Artie one to be like this sad, out of love kind of guy.
Yeah, that's true.
It kind of takes two, doesn't it? So like,
I think she feels like the outie one is a bit useless. Like, you know, like going from job to job, like lost his job and not successful. And,
yeah.
And they've got kids to look after, and she's feeling a bit lonely and out of love, isn't she?
Yeah.
So she's probably compensating with the Innie one.
It's weird, isn't it?
But
that is such a unique story. She's having an affair with him.
Yeah.
It's so interesting.
Yeah.
How do you do that? And like, what does she want then? Does she want the severed one to come outside and live with her? Do you know what I mean? Can you imagine that? Like, I want that one. I reckon he'd freak out though. He'd be like, "Well, why do you want me though? What's so bad about him? Why do you want me?" Do you know what I mean? Like, even he would want to get unsevered just to find out what his outside life is like.
That ain't gonna work. That relationship.
Yeah, I know. Something's going to happen. Something weird is going on there already.
Yeah.
But yeah. Brilliant second season so far. I am going to say the first season is better, but second season at this point is not finished, so I won't put a stamp on that just yet.
I thought the last episode was a bit boring. You know,
the Cobell.
Yeah, Cobell.
I get you.
It was a bit too much. Like, it was a bit too long.
Yeah.
The whole, driving back to the town.
Yeah.
Getting in that guy's truck.
Yeah.
And then going into the house, and I get it, but then it was just a bit boring as well.
Yeah. They have got a thing about that where this show will draw out long scenes. For example, do you know when like Mark was running through them corridors for ages? They do that. They've got a thing about lengthening certain scenes or certain situations. I feel like they lengthen introductions to a character. That's what I feel like they do. Or at a dramatic change, they'll do it too. But yeah, I get it too. Like that last one, Miss Cobell one.
It was like half the episode, it felt like.
Yeah, but I get it. In a sense that we learned a lot about her, but at the same time...
Not really.
At the same time, it just wasn't that impressive.
Yeah.
It was a bit weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't enough for me, that last episode.
That's how I feel.
That's all I can remember. What else happened in that episode? And then obviously, like, she was on the phone to Mark's sister at the end of it.
And it seems like she's going to help or join. Or either she's going to help and join, or she's going to turn them in.
Yeah.
and win extra points by turning them in. It's one of them two.
But yeah, that's it. That's all I can remember from that episode.
And I remember that, well, we found out that she was one of them apprentices. So she
Yeah.
was like really young.
Yeah.
And we found out that apparently she designed a lot of the severance, like different severance
Procedure. Yeah.
settings, let's say.
Yeah.
But I was like, you don't come across like a scientist kind of person.
she doesn't.
And if you were a scientist kind of person, you wouldn't be a manager there. And you're
Yeah.
definitely a manager.
Yeah.
So that ain't right.
Mm.
But yeah, that's what it is. So yeah, that one. That's that's part of the reason why it's lowering in my estimation, because there's episodes like that in this season.
Yeah.
I also feel like the episode where we went back in time, where Mark met Gemma, I feel like that could have been done better. Like, it was a bit too nostalgic for me. You know what I mean? It was a bit too like this lovey-dovey world, this like cliche type of lovey-dovey style. That's what I was seeing, and I was like, you can do better than this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so different episodes have different directors, right? As far as I could tell. Not all of them do, but there are some that do. And that one, I could proper see, it annoyed me a bit, because I could proper see that this director is trying to put their stamp on Severance.
Oh.
Yeah.
What, the last one?
No, the one where Mark met Gemma.
Oh, right, okay.
The last one to a degree as well. But where Mark met Gemma, there was a lot of directorial decisions and choices. Like, it didn't look like it was Severance, that episode. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That episode where it's just them two, their story, it didn't look like Severance. Did not look like it at all. And I was like,
Oh, I didn't know there was different directors.
I could see, especially in that one, I could see, oh yeah, this is a different director. It tells you at the end it was different. I'm pretty sure it was a different name that I saw, and I was like, yeah, I get it. Yeah.
The consistency in this season.
Yeah.
It's not the same as the first.
Dropping a touch, yeah. It's not finished yet, so I will always caveat with that, but
There's only a couple left.
yeah. So we will give it our complete judgment ruthlessly when
At
it
the end.
finishes at the end, yeah, which is coming up very soon. I think we're going to call it there.
Do you want to tell them? Do you want to say what we're watching?
Okay,
what
what
we started other day.
Yeah.
Probably finish it.
Well, upcoming things that we're going to talk about, I suppose.
Yeah.
We're watching a couple of things on Netflix, which I think we'll bring up next. We'll discuss the lady, I think she was a Mormon.
Yeah, I think so.
The Mormon lady, I think she's the Frankies, or what happened to something Frank. I've forgotten what her name is.
I think so. I think it's
I
The
think
vlogger.
it's definitely Frank.
yeah.
We'll watch that. We're going to watch that one. We'll discuss that one, and then we'll talk about that vlogger one where she went travelling. No, that Gabby.
No, it's old news, that one.
All right, we'll not do that one.
I already know too much about that one.
Yeah, so we'll do that. We'll do the end of Severance.
Yeah.
And I suppose is there much coming up that we know of right now?
Yeah.
That's
No.
basically it. So yeah, keep an eye out for what's coming next, and we will catch you guys in the next one. And that's basically everything. Okay, take it easy, guys. See you later.
Bye.